Have you ever gone through the walk through Bethlehem that the Baptist Church puts on every year during Advent? It's amazing. I love taking my family. You go into the sanctuary and they give you a slip of paper that assigns you to one of the 12 tribes of Israel. You sit down, and while you're waiting for your tribe to be called, you sing carols. When they call your tribe, you gather up and you walk through different rooms in the church while they tell the story of Jesus' birth. I love this tradition. And I go to hear this story that I'm so familiar with. I don't really ever expect to hear something that I don't know, but I did remember catching myself sitting in the pews thinking, there was a tribe of Dan? And that's when I realized, you know what? Beyond Levi and Joseph, maybe Benjamin, I didn't really know many of the tribes of Israel. So I finally decided I was going to learn them. And I learned them when I found a song that had all of the names. Our brains are really cool like that. If you use music, it's easier to remember something. You might try it. Here they are. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Gad, and Asher, Dan, Naphtali, Joseph, Benjamin. These are the sons of Jacob. And you can do it faster. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Gad, and Asher, Dan, Naphtali, Joseph, Benjamin. These are the sons of Jacob. Pretty cool, huh? Now, there's someone missing from that song. There aren't any more sons of Jacob, but there is another child in that family. It was Dinah. Did you know that Jacob had a daughter? Dinah's not mentioned in that song because she wasn't one of the leaders of the tribes of Israel. She wasn't a son, but that doesn't mean that she's not important in God's story. So you could change up that song to include her. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Gad, and Asher, Dan, Naphtali, Joseph, Benjamin, and Dinah are the children of Jacob. I like that version a bit better. You see, the Bible, it's like a beautiful jewel. It's valuable, it's precious to us, and when you hold up a jewel to the light catches it in a certain way, and the light reflects off of it, and it glimmers, it kind of sparkles. And depending on which way you hold it, you can see a different part of its beauty. The Bible is like that too. We can look at the stories of the Bible one way and see their truth sparkle back at us. But if we only hold them one way, we're only going to see one truth. If we take the history of Israel and we only focus on Jacob and his sons, then we miss the story of Dinah. And we miss the stories of the 4 mothers who birthed those boys and Dinah. Did you know that there were 4 mothers? Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, and Bilhah. Leah gave birth to 6 sons and Dinah. Rachel, Zilpah, and Bilhah each gave birth to 2 sons. And that, I will tell you, is quite a story. As we're learning the stories of the Bible, we need to make sure that we keep turning them around, turning them all the way around so that we can see all the sides. One way to remember to do this is to ask yourself, what's missing from this story? Who's missing? What voice have I not heard from? Asking these questions can lead us to new truths about God. So when we hear the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we need to also remember that that is the God of Sarah, Hagar, Leah, Zilpah, Rachel, and Bilhah. Perspective matters. The voice telling the story matters. You can ask yourself, who's telling this story that I'm hearing? A powerful king, an outcast, a woman, a child, a disciple, a prophet? And when was this story written? Was it written right away? Was it written a few years later? Was it passed down from generation to generation and finally written down? Many times when kids hear stories from the Bible, you only get to hear one side. We aren't always turning the story all the way around to see its full beauty, to get its full truth. Churches are better at this now than they used to be, but part of this responsibility lies with you. Challenge your grown-ups with those hard questions. Find out whose voice is missing from the story that you're hearing. My prayer for you this week is to challenge the traditional telling of Bible stories. Dig deeper in and turn those stories all the way around, looking for other voices in God's stories.